Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Whether you're in need of a website, domain, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. So earlier on in the week, I was browsing through Instagram, just looking at some stories, and I came across one by Josiah, who's the person I took a portrait of a few weeks ago. And it was of this motorbike which had been set on fire, and it just looked crazy. It was actually on the same field where I took the photo of him and his dog, and it was of his dog and the motorbike. I knew as soon as I saw it that this was something which I wanted to take a photo of on my 8x10 camera, but unfortunately that evening I was in London, so I had to wait until the next day. So I left the house at 7 AM in order to try and capture it at sunrise, because it was predicted to rain for the rest of the day, and I didn't want any of the water to kind of wash away the ash or kind of the debris that it had left. And also, I was really worried that someone might have moved it. I mean, the police might have come since it was there and disposed of it. I mean, it's like not very nice to have it in a field. So I was pretty anxious as I was walking there from the car. And when I finally got there, I couldn't really believe it. It's like such a surreal scene. There it is. It was really peculiar. Yeah, it just kind of left me a bit frozen at first. Just kind of had to look at it. There was so much detail. There was so much going on from the fire that like certain parts have kind of exploded or melted away, or kind of like frayed. There was just so much going on, so I was really happy that I had the 8x10 camera to try and capture as much detail as possible. So I ended up taking two different compositions of the same scene, basically just from the two different angles. So the bike was on a hill. Imagine it like this. The bike is here. And I have my camera, my tripod, and a step ladder, so I can get extra high, so hopefully that I can kind of get somewhat of a bird's eye view. So the first angle that I wanted to try and take a photo of, I was here, and because the bike's here, you couldn't really like get over it. You were kind of limited, since you're already kind of like, you'd have to go over. It's hard to explain, but you'd be like bending over it in like a way that a tripod can't go. But I wanted to try and capture from that side because I really liked some of the details that were on that portion of the bike. And then afterwards, I went round to kind of below it on the hill. And then this made it a lot easier because the bike was already tilted up like that. If you go up here, you're kind of already seeing like on top of it. So this photo ended up being the one which I'm rolling with. Really happy with how it came out. It ended up being a 5-second exposure at f/45, which I was a bit worried about. It's not something that I normally do. It looks great. It's really sharp. There's no damages to it being such a long exposure. Just really happy with it. Really excited to print this out and kind of study it in more detail. I think it'll have such a cool look. Also this week, I did a commercial job for Nike, and I uploaded some of this on Instagram already. So maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't, but I wasn't really able to film anything because you're pretty busy when you're taking photos. So unfortunately, I don't really have anything I can show you of this. However, because of this, I did get my hands on this amazing portable flash unit from Ellencrom. For the shoot, I used some red gels on it, and it was really cool to use, just kind of like pumping out super bright light and with like such fast recharges. And this is definitely a lot brighter than the previous flashes I've used. So I'm really excited to now go and take this out and take some photos, like some classic press style hard flash images, or maybe some like portraits with more modular kind of lighting or soft lighting. Basically just like unlocks a whole nother dimension in photography. It's also been crazy nice weather this week. It's like definitely felt like spring. It's almost been t-shirt weather every day of this week. Something that's come in tandem with that is just wanting to go walk around and take some photos because it's nice outside. So something I did was just walk around the area where I grew up. And I think it's one of the hardest places to photograph, is like the place that you spent the most time. And it's a pretty nice exercise to try it sometimes because you're so familiar with everything that you see that you kind of like just don't know what to take photos of. Everything's so normal. So it's just good to try and get your brain working in a different way. I really enjoyed it. I don't actually think the photos are that good, but it's more of the process than the outcome in this kind of thing for me. And then because the weather was so nice, I went to go and drop all the film off in London, and I ended up walking from Waterloo to Bayer instead of getting the tube because it was so nice outside, and just taking more photos. It was just great. I was using Colour Plus, and I still have the warming filter on my camera, so that's what made these. Another less fun thing, this week, every day, I've spent either 30 minutes or up to 2 hours dusting images, removing everything on Photoshop. So when you have big scans done to print large photos, this comes with like small imperfections and dust in the scan, which personally I think definitely have to be removed. Some people leave them in. It's personal preference. I will judge you, but I'll say I won't. And it's really time consuming. So I'm gearing up towards this exhibition, which is in the summer, which I should be able to tell you a bit more about soon. Yeah, basically just means staring at these images at 300% for hours upon hours. I didn't think there was any point showing you that. Unfortunately, I forgot photo conversation last week. So this week, the winner is Hakeem Summers for this photo. He's titled A Lack of Human Decency. Just like it. It's nice. Good tones in the water. It's kind of like sinking whole thing is something which I'm continuing on from the last few photos. And yeah, I just liked it. I don't feel like much more explanation is needed in this one. If you'd like to submit to have your photo next, please take one or one that you've already taken and hashtag NFConversation, something that you think would pair really nicely with this image. And yesterday I actually went out to Hatfield to meet up with my friend Tom and take some photos on the 8x10. Some more images which I'm really excited about. Turned out what I think will be really amazing. However, only like a few hours ago did I drop them off at the lab. So unfortunately, that'll have to be postponed until the next episode. Finally, I'd like to thank Squarespace again for sponsoring this video. If you're looking to build a website of any kind, maybe it's a shop, a blog, a photography portfolio, or much, much more. It's literally endless. You can do this all with Squarespace. It's really simple to use, really great results, and you definitely don't need any prior experience. And what's great is that you can get 10% off if you use the code negativefeedback. So, that's it. I'll see you next time.